Hello. I'm making a video about how to force close an inspection, a calibration in SAP. The reason I'm making this video is because I found out about some technical changes to SAP that were made recently, and they prevented me from from entering a usage decision and saving the usage decision in SAP when one of the calibration characteristics was left blank. And in the past, we've been able to force close calibrations like that by just trying to enter a usage decision and then pushing save, and then it would ask us if we wanted to force close, and we'd say yes, and it would work. Now it doesn't seem to work. However, even if it did work, we noticed another problem, which is with our calibration certificates. And I'll show you what I mean here. If one of the characteristics is left blank, for example, either on the as found part or as left part, even in the environmental characteristics, I think, this will show up on our calibration certificate. It'll say condition, as found or as left, out of calibration. And we don't want that if there was no problem with the calibration. So I'm going to show you how to avoid having that show up on the calibration certificate. There's a few cases where you would actually want to have calibration characteristic left blank. For example, you might have a nonconformance where you can't take any of the readings or one of the readings. You might have a ZCL1 calibration that we send to a vendor, or we have a vendor calibrate in-house. In that case, we would upload the certificate here and then leave the characteristics blank because we didn't actually measure them ourselves. You might have one of these thread gauges or something with a wax seal, and if it's intact, we don't need to calibrate it, and so we would not have readings in there. You might have a partial calibration as a manual call, and you might also have just a limited calibration if one of the characteristics is not required anymore, but it still shows up. You might have to leave a characteristic blank. So looking at this calibration as just an example, what I'm going to show you is leaving all of them blank, but this applies the same to one of them. If I wanted to leave this characteristic blank, for example, I would just click here on this box, and then click on force. And that's going to force that characteristic to close. If you want to do it to all of them, you can click this select all button, and then that works. It'll do all of them at the same time. So I'm clicking force now, and it wants me to record a reference standard. Assuming that you don't have any, you can just push escape or push cancel. And then you'll have to, at this window, hit enter to accept. And you'll have to do this for each one. Escape, enter, escape, enter, escape, enter. So I left all of those blank, and I'm going to push save. I'll go ahead and do that also to the temperature and humidity if I wanted to. If I had entered a certificate, then I would not be putting in my own temperature and humidity because someone else has calibrated it. Escape, enter, escape, enter, and save. Now I forced everything to close, and if if I had any defects, you should know that even though these values will be accepted, I can click this button, defects, and if there happened to be an NCR or something, I could enter a defect notification and save it that way by pushing this button. Now I'm ready to enter the usage decision, but I gotta save first. That's pretty much it. If you have any questions, let me know. When I enter the usage decision, whatever it may be, SAP should just not even bat an eye. It's totally fine with this, except for my password's wrong. But other than that, it should be totally fine. Like I said, there's a variety of reasons why you might want to do this. Here's just a few that I could think of. Alright, thanks for watching.